There's only one person on that stage that's actually not just like eliminated homelessness by doing sweeps, but instead by putting them in permanent shelter, and that is Nithya, to be fair. She is the only one that's done anything that's like remotely positive about homelessness on that stage.
A debate doubleheader. First up, the race for LA mayor.
Los Angeles, a big city, a bigger reputation.
Beneath the blue skies, frustration, fear, and uncertainty.
It's horrifying, and everybody has to keep watch.
I don't sleep well at night right now at all.
It feels like there's no neighborhoods that are safe.
Southern California, plagued by homelessness, ravaged by wildfires, and crippled by the rising cost of living.
Unbelievable, bro. Oh my God. Can you play some Fort at the same time and the other Subway Surfer for me and the other Subway Surfer app people?
The question is, who's going to deliver?
Here at the iconic Skirball Cultural Center, a face-off for the two biggest races on your ballot. The top candidates for mayor and governor.
One night, two debates.
Live from the Skirball Cultural Center. And a good evening, everyone. I'm Colleen Williams. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Our doubleheader debate kicks off right now with the race for LA mayor. There are a number of issues for Angelenos, and with the primary election now just 4 weeks away, the stakes are very, very high. Joining me for the debate tonight are my colleagues, Conan Nolan, NBC4 political reporter, and Enrique Chiabra, Telemundo 52 news anchor.
I don't know what's wrong with me.
Welcome tonight the 43rd mayor of the city of Los Angeles, the Honorable Karen Bass, and her two challengers, Nithya Raman, who is a member of the Los Angeles City Council.
My nose is running, and
Spencer
also
Pratt,
I don't know if I have allergies or something.
And a former reality TV host.
We'll be asking questions tonight on behalf of viewers and voters. We are proud to broadcast and stream this debate in English and Spanish on NBC4 and Telemundo 52 in partnership with...
All right, there are a couple of rules tonight. Each of the candidates will have 60 seconds to answer our questions, and then 30 seconds for rebuttals and or responses to follow. That is up to the discretion of the moderators here. If a candidate goes over their time, we'll give them a warning.
You can argue that Nithya is as bad as Karen or worse, by the way. That's insane. No, she's not worse than Karen Bass. That's an insane thing to say.
Certainly no name calling, obviously. We're interested in some precision here, some effort at giving the people of the city of Los Angeles some specificity as to how you're going to handle some of these problems. And let's start with one. It gets to January 7th of last year. So, Mayor, this is for you. I know that you have apologized for being out of the country during those wildfires. But still, there are plenty of people who believe that the city let them down. The Los Angeles Fire Department, for some reason, didn't have a strike team or a brush unit where there had been a fire just days earlier and had been reports it was still smoldering. That appears to be inexcusable. LADWP had a reservoir that was dry. The fire hydrants went dry. So based on that issue alone, articulate for us why you should get a second contract as the mayor of the city.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak with you. You know, when I took over as mayor, LA was definitely facing an awful lot of tough problems. And obviously, January 7th was horrible. And as I have told you before, it was one of the worst moments of my life to not be here when my city needed me. And it didn't matter where I was or why I was away. To me, it reminds me of like if you're away and a family member is in an accident. But I think that I deserve a second term, and I'm going to fight for that because we have made significant progress in a variety of areas. For example, homelessness was going up year after year. And under my watch, it is the first time we've had a decrease in street homelessness. While it went up in the country, 18%, it came down in Los Angeles, 17.5%. I have expedited the building of housing because our number one issue in this city is affordability. And one of the main drivers for affordability is housing.
Right, so let me follow up on the fires, though. One gets the impression, based on what we saw, that you prioritized wages and benefits, a hike in the salaries of the firefighters union over the operations budget. We saw those pictures of those engines that were inoperable because they didn't have enough mechanics to fix them. Was that a mistake?
That's
Explain
because of the
that.
union, you idiot. Or maybe it's because of the police union. If there's one union that has been getting all the
firefighters. We actually had fires with not enough firefighters there. So yes, there were fire trucks that were
The
broken,
real problem
but
is
there were also
prioritization of the
fire
police
trucks
budget, not
that
the
were used
fire union.
because
God,
she had
local media,
sent the
local
firefighters
media.
home.
You guys are
You
demonic.
correct. There was supposed to have
You guys are
been
demonic,
and treated
dude.
in the area. That did not happen. But the same way that LA was not prepared, neither was the county.
Thank you, Mayor.
Mayor Bass, Mr. Pratt, this question's for you.
It's true, though.
Your
They didn't have
desire
enough
to run
technicians because
for-
they had to downsize in the number of technicians so that you had a bunch of broken fire
only-
trucks. But that's because all the money goes to the cops. All the money goes to
Nathan,
LAPD.
How does that really color your view of what needs to happen at this point, and how does that help others moving forward?
Yes, thank you for the question. To the Mayor Karen Bass's 1,000 firefighters that were available, but there was no engines for them because of the $17 million that Chief Crowley had asked the mayor for 9 weeks before, and Mayor Karen Bass denied it. So they may have been available, but they didn't have the equipment they needed. Not to mention Janice Quinones, who Mayor Karen Bass put into her position of power at the LA DWP. She drained both of these reservoirs that these firefighters
I can't believe
needed
fucking
to
just
put out
top
these
three.
fires. A lot of people will talk about climate change and hurricane force winds. The winds in the Pacific Palisades never reached higher than 40 miles per hour. For those first 6 hours, they didn't go above 27 miles per hour. So without those two reservoirs filled with 117 million gallons and 5 million gallons, these firefighters had to fly all the way to Malibu and Encino to get water. So that, to me, is the most dangerous thing that the mayor put us up against.
Mr. Pratt, a follow-up here, though. What would you do moving forward that would make this better 2 years from now if we face the same situation?
Well, first off, as mayor, I will never drain the reservoirs that we need for wildfire protection. There's this conspiracy now that they're empty, that they were for drinking water. But if you research it, they were actually made for wildfire protection. As mayor, I'm gonna add 20 dip sites all around the communities connecting to pools. So God forbid the water system goes down again, these dip sites that'll be connected to individuals' pools will fill up for the helicopters to have water.
Mayor Bass, do you have a response to
Yeah,
that?
absolutely. He's saying several things that are completely inaccurate. First of all, there was one reservoir that was out of commission. He is correct. 1 million years ago, it was for wildfires, but over the last 30, 40 years, it's been for drinking water. He talked about the winds. That is just completely inaccurate. If that were accurate, then the planes would have been able to fly. And so the winds reached close to 100 miles an hour, and the planes were unable to fly. So if there were reservoirs, if that reservoir had been open, it would not have worked. We had two reservoirs totaling
Mayor Bass.
8 billion gallons that were available,
Thank
but
you.
could not fly.
Yes, she mentioned me. So she's an incredible liar. Everyone on their phones, Google it. 40 weather stations in the Pacific Palisades. It never went above 40 miles per hour.
Pratt,
She is
Mr. I have
represented
to interrupt you for a
fire.
minute. I have to interrupt you. Name calling,
She just
please.
lied.
Yeah, but no name calling.
She
In
called
fact,
me a
check-
liar.
I
I did
don't
not.
believe she did.
She said
I did
he's
not hear
making
that.
this up.
I did not.
We're not going to debate the issue. We have a question now for
Yes.
Councilmember Rahman.
Councilwoman Rahman, so your District 4 is a fire-prone district. My question to you is, we've seen that you've introduced fire preparedness motions after January 2025. A lot of them happened after the fire, the Palisades fire. My question to you is, what did you do before that? Because this seems like it's more reactive rather than proactive. So any motions you introduced before January 2025?
Yeah, so my name is Nithya. I'm a council member for the 4th District, representing a huge percentage of the hillsides. For those of you who haven't met me before, I'm a mother of young twins. I'm an urban planner by training, and I've been in this role for about 5 years. And in my role as
The harsh
council
truth is a
member
lot of these
for a
homes should not be built in
hillside
these
area,
fire
we
zones. Buddy,
work
that's like
preparing
most of Los
for
Angeles, though.
really extreme weather. Before rainy seasons, actually in the past, mudslides have been the biggest issue in my district. Entire homes have gone off of their foundations, and we go in advance and make sure that traps are cleared, that areas are available for flood and clearing. We do brush clearance and make sure that all of the departments and all of the interjurisdictional areas that are supposed to be doing brush clearance are actually
Daniel
doing that
Lurie
work.
solos all
Before
these
this set
candidates,
of
the
fires,
SF
we
GOAT.
sent out
What?
an email. We made sure that we were connecting.
There's no way there's a Daniel Lurie fan in here. What the fuck is happening in this goddamn community? Half of the chat is like Nithya is the #1 supporter of Israel. The other half of the chat is saying Daniel Lurie, the billionaire San Francisco mayor, is a great mayor. What the f is happening?
That the mayor's role is to be the CEO of the city.
All of you are
the executive
insane.
authority in the city. As a council member, you're a legislator. You push for your district, which I did, and I will always do, and I will always keep doing. But really, it is the mayor's role to be and to
You've gone
coordinate
Mishim. Let's hear what she has to
before
say
and
about
during and
Israel.
after
This is
emergencies to
this
ensure
is a
that the
big
city
concern
is
for me
ready.
as well.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
As I said, we have a lot of topics to cover tonight. The next one is public safety. LAPD is reporting the overall crime rate is down, but people repeatedly say that's not their perception. They do not feel safe. We're seeing yet another series of home burglaries in the San Fernando Valley. And just today, federal authorities arrested at least 18 people connected to a drug trafficking investigation. They called it Save MacArthur Park. Mayor Bass, you have 60 seconds for this. Who ordered this operation with the feds? Is it a sign that our communities are not safe?
No, actually, that operation was ordered by the feds. However, we have been working in collaboration because we were very well aware of the drug dealing that was taking place there. We have used a comprehensive approach when it comes to MacArthur Park. Multiple things are needed. And so what happened a couple of hours ago was an action that had been in the works for many, many years. But let me just say, or many, many months, let me just say also that LAPD and that Los Angeles is understaffed in terms of LAPD for the nation's second largest city. And so I have been fighting to hire more officers. Unfortunately, I have not had the cooperation from the city council, including, unfortunately, my colleague next to me, who has voted repeatedly against hiring officers, including when we were finally able to increase the class size and the council would not fund it. What is in my current budget now is 512 officers, which still is not enough. At least that will deal with attrition. We cannot shrink our department.
Councilmember Rahman, you have 30 seconds to respond to that.
You know, I've supported multiple budgets, thoughtful budgets that maintained and sometimes even increased the size of the police force. I did vote against a big contract, a contract that gave the police union more money than the city had, a contract and its knock-on effects, which ultimately led to the city having a $1 billion budget deficit last year, that led to us having to cut essential services across the entire city. If you're wondering why your streetlights are out on your block and the Bureau of Street Lighting is telling you that it's taking a year to fix a streetlight, that's why.
Councilmember Rahman, thank you. Mr. Pratt, there were 100 LAP officers working with the feds today. Your response to what went down in MacArthur Park?
It's unbelievable. I hope we have the FBI, the DEA, the CDC, the ATF. The more resources we can make the streets of LA safe with federal money, amazing. I talk to thousands of moms a week. They do not feel safe in the street. No matter what these crime statistics
you
are
talk
telling
to thousands
anybody,
of moms
it's
a
not
week?
how people feel.
That's a weird
on the
thing.
street. There's a difference between people.
He's like, I love moms. I talk to thousands of them every week. Moms are coming up to me. They're like, I'm a mom and I'm
Getting
scared.
stabbed on the street than the lights being out. So I think Mayor Bass funding the police was important, actually.
Mr. Pratt, I have a follow-up question for all of you here.
You did
Langer's
mention
Deli.
me, so do I get to respond to that?
Just a moment. This is a response to some of that. Langer's Deli, which, as you all know, is a staple of downtown Los Angeles, is asking all of you on the stage right now to end the Needle Run giveaway program. So my question, Mayor, first of all to you.
What?
Yes or no? It's run by the city run needle program.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes
it's
or no?
safe injections.
Yes.
Councilmember Rahman.
No.
Mr. Pratt.
Absolutely no needles and pipes for drug addicts on the street ever.
God damn it. What a
Take that as a
dumbass.
yes.
I mean, there you go.
Go ahead.
You have 30 seconds.
Well, I did want to say in response to this question that the way you address homelessness, the way you address people living on the street is by bringing them off the streets and indoors. I think we need to absolutely invest in shelter. We need to invest in services. We need to actually get people off the streets for people to be safe. That's what I've done in my district. We've had a 54% reduction in tents and encampments in Council District 4 just over 3 years, and I'm very, very proud of those results. That's how you achieve real public safety outcomes. That's how you ensure that the people of Los Angeles are safe.
This is her strong
So,
suit.
the chief of police said the other day that he
Straight
doesn't
up.
think we're going to have enough officers for LA 2020.
Like ethical relocation on homelessness, like yeah, they did do a lot of that.
LAPD is part of that. Plus, you have to patrol the rest of the city. Hiring more officers is expensive. It's extraordinarily so in many cases. What is your strategy?
Man, I
for
don't give a
getting
fuck that she's in
people,
abundance. So is
recruiting more
Zoran,
officers
okay?
and paying
Stop.
for it?
Jesus
You know,
Christ.
it's
That
more
stuff is
expensive than
nonsense. It doesn't
hiring
matter.
is overtime, because that's what these salaries for the fire department that everyone's
You could say
complaining.
the same about Zoran. Zoran is an abundance too. Derek Thompson loves his housing policies,
LAPD
okay?
right now, the LAPD is hired by the same people that hire sanitation, and we need to bring it back like it was 20 plus years ago so that police hire police, and we need a 10-year plan. It's going to take 10 years to get to the 12,500 officers that we need, and that needs to be a priority. Our sheriff's partner, they're the same size. They have $1 billion more budget for the same size. So this idea that Councilwoman Rahman keeps saying that the police department is overfunded, public safety should be our #1 priority. And we're gonna find all this money when we stop her useless open bed plans that actually doesn't put drug addicts in these housing that we're spending billions of
Yeah,
dollars.
there's only one person on that stage that's actually not just like eliminated homelessness by doing sweeps, but instead by putting them in permanent shelter, and that is Nithya, to be fair. Like, the Israel stuff is true. She has also voted to fund the police, which is also true.
They do some of the hardest jobs in our city.
But let's be real, she is the only one that's done anything that's like remotely positive about homelessness on that stage,
What I am arguing
okay?
against is bad fiscal management,
God, oh
which is
God,
what has
they're
gotten
so
the city of Los
right-wing.
Angeles into this moment.
I hate the politics
The
of my
police
fucking
union
city.
is the most powerful force in LA city politics. And when you give contracts to people because they are going to fund your campaigns, and by the way, I'm the only person on the stage that is being spent against because I had the courage
Thank
to
you.
speak out about bad budget decisions.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
That is what happens.
Appreciate that.
We're going to stay with you, Councilwoman Brandman. So you said, even last night you said it, that you're okay with the current staffing levels at LAPD. My question to you, people say that's just ridiculous, it's not enough, we need more officers. My question to you is, what do you tell people, especially victims, who say the city has let them down?
Yeah, and I think this is a very real issue. The city's most important response is public safety. It is so important to me. I'm the mother of young children. The safety of people in Los Angeles is absolutely essential. But that's why I think we have to start getting honest with people about how we're actually going to respond to public safety needs. How will we make sure that when they call for help, someone picks up the phone at 911 and someone comes when they call, the right person comes when they call? Right now, we've not built out that system because we have funded more police officers, but haven't been able to hire. Our police force is actually shrinking. We have shrunk right now.
So no more officers? Stay the same? What are you saying?
I would love to keep it the same. We have funded them more. The police force has been shrinking. So let's get real about how we actually deliver public safety outcomes. I'm going to work as hard as I can to maintain our police force where it is, but we also need to make sure that we build out responses that can actually take call load off of LAPD. So many calls that are coming into LAPD do not require armed officer response. Let's take call load off of them.
Thank you, Council
and let's
member.
make sure that police can come when people call.
Your time is up. Quick reply, Mayor
Yes,
Bass.
let me just say that unfortunately my colleague has contradicted herself, because on the one hand, she says that if you pay officers what they need, then we're going to bankrupt the city. And then on the other hand, she doesn't understand that, frankly, we have to pay the officers, had to give them a raise, had to expand recruitment because officers were going to other cities. We were not competitive. We have to make a decision, and frankly, my job as mayor, my #1 job is to keep LA safe, and we can't keep LA safe with the size of the department we have now.
We're going to talk about homelessness. 4 years ago, when we did a debate, it was the #1 topic. It is right up there again. This is an issue that continues to challenge the city. Homelessness, many residents say the homeless in their neighborhoods make them feel unsafe. They feel the homeless have more rights than the residents do. So these are 2 yes or no questions for each of you. Right now, getting off the street is voluntary. Should that change if a bed or a shelter is available. Mr. Pratt, we're going to start with you. Yes or no?
It's illegal to live on the street. So, yes, everyone needs to go inside.
Okay, Mayor Bass.
Everybody needs to
how
go
do you do that?
inside. Making it illegal and arresting people is not the way to solve this problem.
Ms. Rahman.
Yes, people need to go inside. When they're offered shelter, they go inside.
They don't get an opportunity
It is
to say
illegal.
no.
It
So
is.
it's unanimous here. Next question. Do you support the ordinance that restricts encampments
Oh,
in
my
front of
God.
school or daycare centers? Mayor Bass, I'm going to start with you. Yes,
Yes.
or no? Ms. Rahman, yes or no?
You know, I support keeping our streets safe. I did vote against the structure of this particular ordinance, and it is because, at its best,
yes or no.
it does not. The way this ordinance was structured,
It's
It's
no.
a yes
does,
or no?
it does
Yeah,
not.
we'll
It does
take
not
that
keep
as a
our
no.
children safe. It does not
Mr.
keep our
Pratt.
children safe. No,
Mr.
it
Pratt.
doesn't keep our children safe enough.
It's a simple yes or no question. Mr. Pratt.
What I was saying is she's fighting because she doesn't think there's a difference between 1 foot or 500 feet for kids' safety with
Okay.
drug addicts with machetes
Again,
in front of
we'll take that.
schools.
Yes or no?
Of course, we do not want encampments in front of schools, parks, daycare.
Okay,
I don't
right.
want vehicles.
So, Mayor, you had talked about inside safe. Let's go into that a little bit. You've suggested that there has been progress made, but even the Los Angeles Homeless Services Authority, which the city contracts with, has said that upwards of 40% have left and gone back to the street. I mean, there's a concern that a lot of money is being spent. There's been some progress, certainly not enough. I'll have you defend your program.
So, Conan, I declared a state of emergency on day one because I know that what Angelenos want to see are their streets clear. Inside Safe is the only citywide program that we have had that has reduced homelessness 2 years in a row. Prior to that, there was no citywide strategy, and homelessness was going up year after year. We need to have an entirely new system.
If they
that
let
is frankly
Spencer Pratt go on
independent.
the homelessness, swear he's going to be like, I'm going to kill homeless people on stage. Like I could see him.
Off the street.
I can see him. If they wind him up enough, he's just going to be like, I have actually used my bare hands in the past to deal with this problem. The scourge, the parasitic force.
That is working. Absolutely, does it need to be better?
Why didn't
Does
Ray
it
Wong
need
get to be in
more
this? She
cost-effective?
didn't,
And we're working on that
according to NBC,
right
she didn't
now
make the 5%
by
cutoff.
temporary structures on city.
There was one poll where she was below it, one poll where she was above it.
We have been doing it for the last 3 years, and it's the first time homelessness has gone down.
Councilmember Rahman, so you promised to clear half of the encampments by the Olympics and all of it by the end of your term if you get elected.
Yes.
My question to you, you've been in the city council for 5 years. Why are we barely seeing this plan? Yesterday, I think it was posted on your Instagram. And is this realistic?
Absolutely, it's realistic, and it's realistic because I've done it in my own district. This is exactly the plan that I've operationalized in my district to get a 54% reduction in tents and
5
encampments
years?
in my district
So in
3
5
years.
Okay.
In 3 years.
She's not the mayor,
Yes.
but she is a council district member, which is almost as powerful as the mayor, and united more powerful than the mayor.
This time, it is absolutely realistic. But what I want to go back to is
Literally.
the idea that we are satisfied with our
People don't
homelessness
understand. In Los
system right
Angeles,
now.
a mayor is like a downgrade.
In Los Angeles right now can say that we are satisfied with spending
City
extraordinary
council is more
amounts
powerful
of money
than
on our
the mayor
homelessness
is.
response and getting only incremental progress in response. I want to change that. Let's use the dollars that we're spending. Let's actually build out a real system that can get as many people indoors as possible. Let's not put them into $100,000 a year motel rooms for a year or more per person. This system is not fiscally sustainable.
New York has the
to
New York
end
mayor
this
has like
crisis with
tremendous
urgency
power
and
as opposed to the LA
accountability
mayor.
So you'll
Not
make a
years into the
you'll make a
future.
commitment to clear all the encampments by the end of your term if you get elected.
Yes, that's correct. Absolutely.
Yes, Mayor.
I have to respond because I know the statistics she's talking about in her district, but the statistics are there because of Inside Safe, because she has called on Inside Safe repeatedly. I took the initiative to go into her district to make sure that encampments were cleared. We absolutely need a new system, and it has to have a comprehensive
Send in another illegal
approach.
ballot every time
And
Spencer
there's
Pratt
no room
speaks.
for
Me too.
We need to move on here.
Sorry,
Mr. Pratt, you have been critical of what you consider failures of the current administration on this issue. You advocate for what some have called get help or get out of the way. What is that, and how do you do it?
I don't know who made up that name. First off, I just want to say, Councilwoman Robin acts like she doesn't have any authority with this homelessness. She was the third most powerful
Spencer
person.
Pratt, you have often called for unlimited bloodshed towards some of the most vulnerable people in American society, the homeless. What do you have to say about that? How much bloodshed is too much bloodshed? As the moderator who's supposed to be impartial, I, of course, would opt out. for the opt-in to the maximum amount of bloodshed, but I just want to see how many homeless people will you murder with your bare hands?
Councilwoman Robin's plan for treatment first, I will go below the Harbor Freeway tomorrow with her, and we can find some of these people she's going to offer treatment for. She's going to get stabbed in the neck. These people...
Wait, what? She has done that. Though she's literally done that. Nithya at this point could just literally be like, between you and I'm the only one who's actually done that and seen success in my district, to be fair. This is the one area where she is... Both Karen Bass and Nithya are far better than he is. I mean, he's a fucking demon.
Say to everybody who's watching today, you're going to watch today as Mayor Bass and Spencer Pratt attack me because they want to run against each other in the general election. Each of them thinks that running against each other is what's going to help them win. And they don't want to run against me because my ideas, which are based on real results in my district, which are based on real data, a real analysis of the system, and a focus on accountability and using every dollar as effectively as possible, which we have done in my district. I want to take this citywide. This is why this is happening today.
Excuse me. Raman, we're out of time. I'm going to give each of you 30 seconds to respond to this.
I would
Mr.
love
Pratt,
to
I'm going to start with
Thank
you, and then I'm going to go to Mayor Bass.
First off, Mayor Bass and I are definitely not working together. I blame this person for burning my house and my parents' house and my town and all my neighbors down. I am not working with Mayor Bass. Second off, if I wanted to run against anybody, it would be the council member who is terrible. Mayor Bass has at least been a mayor for almost 4 years and has, as she talked about earlier, the unions, all the unions endorsed Mayor Bass. You think it's easier to run against the incumbent mayor?
I like that. I like that he literally proved her point, though. He's like, I'm not glazing Mayor Bass because I want to run against her, except here I am glazing Mayor Bass because I want to run against her.
Specifically, there's a lot of money, billions that are spent on the homeless endeavor. A lot of that money goes to 501c3s and nonprofits. Now we're hearing the Department of Justice has a lawsuit.
I can't tell you how much I despise Spencer Pratt. I mean, oh my God.
That was siphoned. Project Home Key, I believe, not a statewide project, two real estate developers accused of siphoning off $40 million. There's a perception that we don't know where the money's going. And that we have, the legislative analyst in Sacramento said there are $26 billion in state funds. We're not sure if that did any good. So how can we have confidence that the investment we are making in the future is not going into the pocket of some director who will end up in federal court?
First of all, I don't think it's shocking that you do find corruption in big programs like this, and I think it is extremely important to hold them completely accountable. But I will just say that for the first time, we've had a reduction of homelessness 2 years in a row because of policies that I have put in place. I also believe we need to have an overhaul of the system, but I can tell you that streets that we have cleared, crime is down, firefighters don't have to go out. Firefighters spend 30% of their time putting out fires that are related to homelessness. Businesses are able to have customers. Kids are able to walk to school, and parents without navigating tents. That's what I would say. But I have to say about my colleague here is that, yes, she is a member of City Council. She chairs the Homelessness Committee, but she also, in order to get anything passed in City Council, she has to build an alliance with her colleagues, and she has not been successful in doing that, which is why she has not been able to pass
Mayor
the
Bass,
policies
your time is up.
that you're talking about.
Thank you. Councilmember Raman, so this also happened under your watch. Your plan calls for fully staffing the Bureau of Homelessness Oversight, which the City Council established under your leadership. So the question is, why is it not fully staffed as we speak right now?
It's not. As part of my efforts to create accountability on homelessness, I've been pushing for greater oversight within the city. Right now in the city, there is no one who is watching our dollars. There is no one, even as we're spending hundreds of millions of dollars every year, there is no accountability in the city. There's no staff at the city that are making sure that every single dollar that you are spending, your tax dollars, are going to the issue of homelessness. People are not watching to make sure those are going towards outcomes. They're not watching to make sure that every dollar is being spent appropriately. That is because the city has not invested in oversight. I've been pushing for exactly that oversight. I created the first data around performance that the city had because I pushed and it happened. I established the Bureau of Homelessness Oversight through my powers as a council member. But the mayor is the executive of the city. She has the power to move departments to hire and to build out the staffing. A year after this was established, no new staff members have been hired for this. No leadership has been hired.
Time is up. Thank you.
Mr. Pratt, this next question is for you. You have 60 seconds.
Mayor Bass would like to respond. I don't know if you heard.
Do we have the time?
No, I'm just.
Go ahead, Mayor.
Well, thank you. Let me just say that the bureau that the councilwoman is referring to is being staffed. Half the staff are there now. And we have been reducing homelessness again for the first time and building out a system that needs to be built. The problem with my colleague, though, and I appreciate your interest in data and all of that, that is important. But I believe it was important to act in this city. Angelenos do not want to see encampments on their street.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, Mr. Pratt. Mr. Pratt, thank you for directing traffic up here. We appreciate it. How does your professional experience qualify you to make sure and to oversee a budget the size of LA's $14 billion budget? We know you're passionate about what you're doing. We know you're an entrepreneur.
He just sells crystals on his Etsy shop because he blew his trust fund.
What kind of experience do you bring to the table for that?
Well, thankfully,
he's literally
I have
a psycho.
I'm humble. I have humility.
I'm
gonna surround
humble.
myself
You're a reality
with the
TV
smartest
loser
people in the world, because I actually don't have to balance the budget. The mayor doesn't balance the budget. She has a CAO. She has a team, and we're not going to say she has the best team, but she has a team, and they balance the budget. My job is to be, as crazy as this will sound, I'm the adult in the room here as Spencer Pratt, and that's what it's come to. And so I plan on putting people that actually want to make sure all of our money, like Councilwoman Rahman was saying, is accounted for. Pure transparency, every dollar, all of our tax money. And again, back to what Councilwoman Rahman was saying about that, in her own district, she let one of these NGOs, a building was on the market for $3 million. It sold for $8 million to the NGO with that tax money that she's so concerned about. She wants to watch it all. She can't even keep track of the NGOs in her own district stealing our tax money. So
I'm going to be so for real with you. This chud will be your next mayor. He's literally Trump. He's Timu Trump. He's Timu Trump for Los Angeles.
I'm not sure what specific building Spencer Pratt is referring to, but I will also just say that we have pushed extremely hard to build the oversight system, so much so that I had to go out and get philanthropic support to create the data for performance oversight and accountability at the city. The city was refusing to put our dollars and our people towards it. This is important. Your tax dollars deserve to be watched. You deserve a system that responds to you with responsibility and accountability. That's what I want to establish.
Robin, thank you. And Mayor Bass, do you have a response to that as well?
Sure. Again, what I have done on my watch is reduced homelessness for the first time 2 years in a row. We absolutely need a system that is able to provide services to people. It has been woefully unacceptable what has been happening so far. I feel we're moving in the right direction, and under my watch, we will continue to do that because we need to make comprehensive changes to what has been going on for so many years before, frankly, either of us arrived.
We have a question from a student from the Harvard of the West, Loyola Marymount University. Your name, your major, and what year are you? And your question.
Good evening. My name is John Kasabian. I am a senior urban and environmental studies major. My question for you is that Los Angeles remains one of the most unaffordable regions in the nation. If elected, what is one housing policy you would implement immediately or change?
Mayor, we'll start with you.
Yes, the housing policy that I did implement immediately after I declared a state of emergency around homelessness. I expedited the building. 42,000 units are being fast-tracked for affordable housing. We have another 43,000 units that are potential with our adaptive reuse, which means you can change office buildings into housing. We also changed the zoning codes, so we have the potential for another half
Chatter.
That one of the prime.
Chatter is watching unbelievably right-wing NBC. Be like, how many homeless people would you, and why is it not unlimited? And then like have at least 2 out of the 3 candidates be like, I would all of them. And Chatter's like, Chatter's in here being like, your takes on third party politics not being the appropriate time frame right now is actually so counter-revolutionary. Build the revolution, man. Please. I want you to. I want to live in it. Okay. I want to live in that universe. Okay. I don't want to live in this one right now because this one that I'm watching unfold is dog shit. Okay. Virtually every person involved, both from the media to the political side, is like, let's just murder the homeless. We need to give max out contracts to the police force. And you're over here talking about how like there is actually a Leninist spirit inside of every American proletariat waiting to be unlocked. And all it needs to happen is the 17th Communist Party that you are going to do trash pickup with. And all of a sudden, everyone's going to join the call.
Right now, on average, the city takes over 1.5 years to approve multifamily housing, apartments, exactly the kind of housing that we desperately need in order to bring prices down. Why is the city standing in the way? As mayor, I will take my executive authority over the departments and ensure that they respond to new apartment applications within 60 days if they are zoning compliant, so that we can build exactly the kind of housing that will make this into a city of opportunity again.
Ms. Rahman, thank you. Mr. Pratt, you have 60 seconds.
She also mentioned me.
She did heard it.
See how nice they are being to each other?
Nice person.
It's good
Go
to
ahead,
know.
Mayor.
What's going on here?
Well, first of all, I disagree in terms of how much time it takes to go through the process. We have cut red tape so you can go through much quicker than that. The 42,000 units of housing that are being fast-tracked, 6,000 of those units are actively under construction, but there are definitely other factors that have weighed into that. And some of the factors are price of construction materials, just the general economy, and we are doing everything we can to make sure that we are able to fast-track that housing. We want to see people move in right now, which is why we've come up with a variety of ways in addition to that.
Thank you very much. Mr. Pratt, are you ready?
I am. Thank you
All
so
right,
much.
you have a minute to respond.
Well, the good news is when I enforce the law and clear the street of the drug addicts that have taken over 40 blocks of downtown LA, abandoned buildings that have drug addicts just lighting them on fire every other day, I will have potentially 20,000 units available to build. And thankfully, I spent a lot of time in a town that has a lot of builders, and I see all the new 3D printing and the potential of how fast we can do it. And with this ED1 that Mayor Bass was talking about, I met with the developer this week, Carlos, and he said, yes, she did an initiative where she fast-tracked it 6 months. It's been 2.5 years, and he hasn't been able to get his permits. The best part is some of these developers that are taking all of our tax money are charging $750 a square foot for stuff that should be costing. And Councilwoman Rahman, this plan that she's going to build all these units, guess what? She's going to sue all the people that actually rents to the tenants, and then they're not going to even want to rent to anybody because she wants people to squat in there for a year and not pay. So I don't know how her plan's going to work.
Councilmember Rahman, you have 30 seconds to respond, and then Conan has a question that coincides with all of this. Please.
Great. I mean, I'm not sure how to respond to that vision of Los Angeles. This is a MAGA Republicans' idea of what Los Angeles looks like. This is really not the city that I love so much. We need to make this city so much better. We have to work so hard to ensure that this city works for everyone who lives in it. And crucial to that is actually ensuring. I'm sorry, I was still speaking.
Continue, Council.
Okay.
Okay. So if you don't mind, the governor the other day expressed frustration, Mayor, with you. It appears the city has delayed the implementation of Senate Bill 79, that is high density along transit lines. I know that you wanted him to veto that law. He didn't. I know, Councilwoman, you supported that law. Mr. Pratt, I'd like you to weigh in. I don't know if we need a minute for all of this, but can you just tell us, with regard to building transit, a lot of neighborhoods are concerned about this high density, up to 9 stories at transit
Nithya, this is the
lines.
big leagues. What are you doing?
Why did you want to delay
You can't get
that,
fucking
Mayor?
dog walk over Spencer Pratt.
Right.
Well, first of all,
Call him
I
Timu
don't
Trump.
support
Tell him to shut
Sacramento
up.
saying that this is what we
Call him
need
a
to do
goddamn
here in
Nepo
Los
baby.
Angeles, especially our city, where we are very much committed to building housing. And I
don't even know how Ray would do here either, to be fair.
We are on track to build housing. We need absolutely more housing built, but SB 79 basically says you can build it in any residential area, and I don't believe that that is necessary. In some areas, and I always talk about Sherman Oaks, they don't want their individual neighborhoods disrupted, but they are very open to building housing on their commercial strips. Councilwoman Harris Dawson is the perfect example where on Crenshaw Boulevard, you see hundreds of units being built, but the single-family homes are not disrupted. There's ways to do it. We are on our road to do it. We did not need Sacramento to tell us what to do and to mandate what we were doing.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilwoman.
Here's why SB 79 and other state laws keep coming down on us. Because the city of Los Angeles is not taking responsibility for the demand for housing. We are not building housing at the level that we need to address our housing shortage. And when we don't build that housing responsibly, when we don't take responsibility for it from the very top, including from this mayor who has pushed back against these state mandates, they come in and impose these mandates on us. Here's what I would do instead. Let's actually plan for the housing that we need. Let's build out the neighborhoods that we want to build. Let's make them beautiful. Let's actually solve for the kind of density and affordability that the state is asking us to do. We can do it if we plan for it. And as mayor, that's exactly what I would do. I would ensure that I would use the executive authority to make sure that every department was planning for density in ways that Angelenos welcomed so that Sacramento didn't have to intervene. In the absence of that, this is what happens.
Thank you, Mayor. We'll get to you. And Mr. Pratt, it would seem to me you agree with the mayor on this topic, but I just want you to asking you about density development imposed by the state.
Yeah, to be clear, I just said I'm gonna have 40 blocks when I get rid of all the drug addicts that are sleeping on the sides of all these empty buildings. So we will have so much high density. I'll have so many bike lanes for Mayor, or excuse me, Councilwoman Rahman to have all her bike lanes. We're gonna have all that. We have
Bro, literally, we'd be like, what's your plan to build housing? I'm going to murder homeless people. Bro, that's not, this is a one-stop shop. Every answer is like, I'm going to kill homeless people. I'm Spencer Pratt. I'm going to kill homeless people dead. I'm going to kill them dead.
People can burn.
I need the blood of the homeless to power my machine. I need it.
Buildings on these teeny tiny streets doesn't make sense. Of course, I'm fine with building where they make sense. I love building.
I will build high-density housing off the bones of the homeless that I crush.
Prison-like boxes, but I think they should have some style. Not to mention the fact that Councilwoman Rahman is fighting Mayor Bass on Sacramento, where she just was telling me, this is LA, this is LA. Where's
it's ironic because he's homeless right now because his house burned down, Palisades fire, and now he lives in a trailer, like one of those like super fancy trailers though.
It seems to be
in I think Malibu or Palisades somewhere.
The office buildings are worth a fraction of what they used to be. That will impact the budget, by the way. You have a graffiti tower. You have a $500 million bridge, 6th Street Bridge, where somebody ripped out 38,000 feet of copper, so it's in the dark. You have restaurants, Kohl's at 6th and Main, Clifton's at Broadway and 8th, that survived the Depression, Prohibition, and World War II, but they can't survive the human feces outside their front door. They're closed. What is your plan for downtown? Can we afford to let it die? Ms. Rahman, we'll start with you. Would you agree to bring city workers back full-time to the office in order to help some of the businesses?
I think we do definitely need to bring city and county workers back. In our office, we have people in the office 3 days a week in order to be able to address issues. There are some workers that should be in the office much more, and there's others that can be there 3 days a week, but absolutely. That is not the only intervention that downtown needs. And right now, the lack of care that's being demonstrated in downtown LA is part of our broken status quo. Downtown LA needs attention and it needs real care. It needs more public safety officials on the streets. It needs work with businesses to ensure that businesses aren't just fleeing downtown LA, that they're actually staying there. It needs regular cleanups. It needs real maintenance. It needs a strategy. Instead, what Mayor Bass has done is to dismantle our economic development department. We don't have a strategy to keep businesses here in Los Angeles, and we're watching as they walk away from this city instead of investing in it. That's the kind of investment that I want to encourage people to make by actually investing in a real economic development strategy for LA.
Mr. Pratt, how do we solve this? Are you want to bring workers back into the city? Full on? I mean, what's the solution for this problem? He mentioned a lot of problems. What's your plan?
Thank you, sir. Well, first off, I was just talking to my friend Rachel, who works in downtown LA. Downtown is so unsafe now that they have to serve the food. All the employees have to eat inside. They can't risk going out. That's why all these beautiful restaurants are closing, because it's so unsafe. So before we require city workers to go back into any buildings, we need to enforce the laws on the street. Councilwoman Rahman is talking about safety, yet when animal rescue activist Rebecca Court came in and said the dogs are being tortured and abused on the streets of downtown, she walked out of the hearing. She doesn't care about safety. She doesn't care about anything she's talking about. tomorrow.
I can't stand this.
Mayor Bass, can we afford, and you've got a minute to answer this question, can we afford to let downtown LA die? As
No,
Kona
we
pointed out,
absolutely cannot
but
afford.
it's in a crisis situation at this point.
Absolutely.
It
And
seems
so-
to be going the wrong way.
So let me just tell you that we absolutely cannot. Downtown is the center of our city, and it is an economic engine that absolutely needs to be attended to. We have a strategy that is working. We are working with the downtown business associations. We are increasing public safety there. That's why I did the adaptive reuse ordinance, which allows for the office buildings that are vacant to be converted into housing, and those conversions are taking place right now. That is why we have to deal with the street homelessness that is there. There needs to be massive intervention there. And then, of course, there is the convention center. And the convention center is a long-term investment that we have to make in our city because the more people you have downtown, whether it's a convention or people coming downtown for concerts, is the way to make the city more safe and downtown more safe. And my number one obligation is to keep our city safe. So downtown is absolutely critical.
All right, moving to our Councilmember Rahman, would you like to respond to that? Talking about that.
I mean, look, I feel like we're having a theoretical conversation here about the direction of our city, which is being led currently by our mayor. Our mayor is the CEO of the city. She sets the direction of this city.
Right.
And if you are satisfied with the status quo, then I've got great news for you. The incumbent is on the ballot. What I'm here to say is that we need more urgency to respond to the issues right now. We need real plans. We need real efforts to make sure that we're keeping businesses here, that we're keeping workers here, that we're keeping residents in downtown LA. That is the strategy and effort that I want to bring to this room.
Councilwoman Rahman endorsed
we
Mayor Bass 2 weeks before she ran for election. 2 hours before the candidacy closed, she endorsed Mayor Bass. So all of a sudden now she has all these problems with Mayor Bass. They do photos together.
Mr. Pratt.
Oh, sorry.
We have so many more topics, and you know what? I know we're passionate. You're passionate about what we're talking about. But voters really want some concrete evidence here, and they want people to be direct.
But she referenced
moving
me.
along,
I need
Mayor,
to
I'm
respond
so sorry
to
to
that.
have to cut you
That's
off.
supposed to be part of the rules.
Go ahead, Mayor.
I haven't been offered that in a lot of this debate.
I think I'm joining you there. Absolutely, the status quo and breaking up the status quo and dealing with the bureaucracy is exactly why I ran. And I started doing that by addressing homelessness, but also by bringing coalitions together to make sure that we can deal with downtown. Did you know that we are the only major city that does not have a comprehensive infrastructure plan? So it's been haphazard up until now, left to wishes of every single council member. I have instituted and started a comprehensive infrastructure plan and moving right away into replacing 60,000 solar lights.
Thank you, Mayor.
Are we good on this topic now? Because this next topic, a lot of viewers, when we put up the QR code, wanted to know about this. It has to do with the film and television industry. A lot of people think we're nowhere close to where we should be. I know it bounced back the first part of this year, but it's at least 30% below what it was pre-COVID time. So the question becomes, and Mayor, I'm going to start with you. Do we do enough to keep production in Southern California?
Well,
you have 1 minute.
Let me just tell you what I have done. In working with the industry, we have expedited permits. I established one person who is a czar to provide concierge services for the industry. We also lowered the costs to do filming in Los Angeles. So, for example, the observatory, we reduced those amounts by 70%. We are beginning to bring the industry back, and I'll tell you, this has been a longstanding issue of mine. When I was in Sacramento and served as speaker, I did the first tax credits and also promoted and advocated for those tax credits here in Sacramento. We have a long way to go, but we are absolutely making headway because of policies that I put in place.
Mr. Pratt, are we doing enough to bring Hollywood back?
Absolutely not. And that's great. Mayor Bass did those.
Thank you for the question. I think we should murder the homeless so that we can bring Hollywood back. I have a suggestion. We should put homeless people as stunt doubles in every set and murder them. Even if it's like a child's movie and there's no need for a murder, I think all of these movies would do better if there were dead homeless people in the background.
5 years. Now, all of a sudden, she has these tweets and these posts, and she's doing Substacks. Both of these people have been the reason why.
None of these people are serious enough about murdering the homeless. I'm Spencer Pratt.
These things, we're still going to have drug addicts all over the street because they're.
Do you care about Hollywood's decline? Of course I do. I live in Los Angeles. What are you talking about?
I talk to producers. They have to pay gang members right now to keep the streets safe, to go film anything on the streets of LA. So absolutely no. These two politicians have failed Hollywood.
He moved on. We got
a thousand.
Dude,
Councilmember Rahman.
It's a way to still murder the homeless, but this time we should stop subsidizing gang members to murder the homeless.
To me, my husband has been a longtime writer in the industry, and we desperately need to keep Hollywood here. And I feel like the mayor's role is really to be the loudest advocate for the best possible version of the policies that we need, including a tax credit that has no cap, that is guaranteed years into the future so that production, so that studios can actually invest here and they know that they can invest here. We need to make sure that we're reducing red tape in City Hall to make sure that productions have no bar to being able to film here. I also would create a real film office here. We don't have enough people at the city to make sure that filming can happen quickly and efficiently. We need people who know the industry and know the city and can make sure that we're working across county jurisdictions. That's what happened in Baywatch. City and county weren't talking to each other. Let's make it possible for us to actually do the work. I feel so strongly about this. And Angelinos in the industry need a fighter. I will be that fighter.
Excuse me.
Thank you.
Excuse me.
We have to move on. Really quick, 30 seconds.
In her time in there, she feels very strongly about it, but never offered one motion. And when motions came up on the industry, she either recused herself or got up and walked out.
Thank you. Thank you both. We got to move on. Sorry. I am so sorry. We have to move on. We have a very important topic. So let's talk about immigration. Immigration after what happened last year, that was a really big deal. So I want to ask you all three. This is a yes or no question and answer. So there's an LA council member. He wants voters to decide. He is saying that non-citizens, should they be allowed to vote in local elections? Is this a yes or no? Mr. Pratt?
No.
Mayor Bass?
It depends. It's not a yes or no.
Depends on what?
First of all, when you say non-citizens, it doesn't mean they're here illegal. It doesn't mean they're undocumented. They could have green cards. They could be here perfectly legal.
She's right.
And there's a lot of states and cities that do that on very, very local elections. We have to see what the councilman is proposing.
Councilmember Bremen.
Yeah, I would say, again, it does depend. In other places, school boards have non-citizens.
Yes or no?
Non-citizens who vote
Mr. Fred, I have a question for you. You told NBC News a few months ago that
they're right.
You want LAPD to take care of, so if you don't want ICE to be here in the city, so the question is, you want LAPD to do enforcement as ICE?
No, that's not what I said. What I said is, when I'm mayor, I want to enforce all the laws and get all the drug dealers, the murderers, the child traffickers, the rapists. And if they're legal or illegal, if they are a danger to our society, I want them off our streets. So that's why I said ICE won't be coming here because
what about the undocumented homeless people? We should make the undocumented homeless first and then fight them. Fisticuffs.
That's not what ICE was doing.
Okay, we're moving
ICE was chasing people in car washes. ICE was chasing people in Home Depots and picking up vendors selling fruit.
This is the type of that's going to cook Spencer Pratt, in my opinion. His insane sentiment about ICE.
That is not what was going on in here. I was against it. I physically went out and did everything I could to stop it, and we'll do that again.
Was that phone call when you were like, hello, please don't come here? Just to be clear, I didn't say what she said. I said I'm going to target all criminals. So she just put words in my...
That's not what I said.
Final question for all three of them. In another hour, there's going to be 7 candidates for governor. The governor's going to be there at one point. Very quickly, just a line. What do you need from the next governor to help this city? Ms. Rahman?
We need support we need financial support when our federal administration has abandoned us. We need to make sure that we are able to fund the programs that we need. We need to be able to make sure that we can ensure that the city is vibrant into the future. We absolutely need a governor who is going to fund that full film tax credit that we need. We need the support in the absence of support from the federal government.
Mr. Pratt,
what do we need from
the next governor? What do you need from that person?
Personally, the governor needs to clear all his dead fuels around our community so more communities don't burn down. All the dead brush is surrounding Sunland, Tahunga, Bel Air, Brentwood, the Valley. So there's a lot of dead fuels that they leave.
Oh, this is San Francisco politics is even worse than LA somehow. San Francisco politics is tech CEO that wants to kill homeless versus Blood Boy that also wants to kill homeless. It's just they all of California's politics revolves around who gets to expedite the murder of homeless people faster. That's what California politics is. Who gets to fund the police more? They will literally fight one another. They will fight one another to be like, I want to give the cops more APCs. I think every cop deserves an armored personnel carrier so they can drive over the homeless encampments. It's literally, that's what California politics is. It's incredible. It sucks because I do think the people are way the people are like way more woke. If you look at the ballot measures are like tax billionaires, tax every home that's over, tax every home that's over $1 100% so we can fund mega mansions for the homeless, and then that ballot measure will pass by like 75%. But our politicians, on the other hand, are like, we should more homeless. I think this is what this ballot measure means, right? It's crazy. And then the government will just veto it. Gavin Newsom or the California state legislature will just veto those the ballot measures, and it'll go nowhere. Or they will actually fund it, okay? They will actually fund it, and then it will go nowhere. It will go to like one of these 501c3s that's like a total bullshit shell company created by one of one of the relatives of like a powerful Los Angeles politician, and then it'll just sit there. They'll just park those the tax revenue, and they'll never build a single shelter with it. It's insane. It's one of the worst, most corrupt machines in the entire state. It sucks so much dick and balls. I hate it so much. This is, dude, I mean, look at the governor's race. Look at the gubernatorial race. Like, Tom Steyer is a billionaire, and he's like cut above in terms of progressivism than like some of the big movers and shakers of California politics. That should be a warning sign, right? Like, you should probably understand how bad things actually are. At one time, San Francisco was pretty left and had some radical politics, but all those people can't afford to live there anymore and have been replaced by technocratic neoliberal tech bros. Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible across the board. I'm done. I don't want to watch the rest of this. I'm tired. What a day. Anyway, tomorrow I'll be in San Francisco, where at least, Shoykat Chakrabarti is like somewhat of an actual interesting and somewhat radical candidate that I do like. So I'm just holding on to him as a glimmer of hope, even though DSA San Francisco is obviously very frustrated with me because he funded Dean Preston's opponent many years ago, and they've never let that go. Plus, he's also Stripe guy, centimillionaire. So understandably, there's like a lot of fear there. But he's going up against Scott Wiener, who also sucks majorly. Okay. Oh, what a mess. What a mess this entire thing is. But yeah, I'll be in San Francisco. I'm going to be doing a rally with Shoykat Chakrabarti and also numerous other folks as well. Jamal Bowman will be there. Malak Kuros is going to be there. Dari Liza will be there from New York, and some Justice Democrats as well. Don't go out for dinner. What? What does that mean? Shoykat Chakrabarti? Dude, you're butchering his name. Am I? It's Shoykat. I'm saying his name correctly. It's Shoykat. It's Shoykat. And his last name is Chakrabarti. You meant like, don't let him film you eating because you eat like an animal. It's true. Anyway, love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow.